Okay. So these are just for you, friend, but I probably will post for others to see. So I won't call out your name so you don't feel singled out, but you're the inspiration. So for anyone else watching, sorry, I just finished doing some kickboxing, so I'm nasty, a little out of breath. These are going to be core focused exercises, but I tell everyone abs are made in the kitchen, and I do not have great abs, so you can see that I have some unnecessary food in my diet. I'm married to a sugar addict, and I have not completely grasped, there we go, self-control in that area. It's much different when you're single and living alone, and for years I have advised people through different weight loss companies and nutrition offices about just say no. It's easy to say no. Just cook your own meal. You know, whatever tips I could come up with. But now that I'm in that position, I understand it is a lot easier said than done. But that is my first suggestion to you: is start eliminating processed foods and sugars. I'm not saying eat a gluten-free diet, but definitely cut the bread out if you can. And anyway, so that's your first thing that you need to do, and make sure you're drinking at least half of your body weight in water, and more is totally okay. You're not going to drown. When it comes to working your core, I don't necessarily like isolating it specifically. I like doing full body moves or multiple muscle groups, because that also gets your heart rate up, and so you burn more calories and you burn more fat that way, because it's really hard to just focus on the core region and get a great core, because you really need an overall tone. So the chair is here for modifications if you need it, so you can use a chair or a bench, whatever you may need, or the floor may be a little bit more challenging. So I'm going to do all of these without weights. You can incorporate weights in some of these. I'm going to just quickly go over a group of moves, whatever comes to my head, because I didn't write this down to prepare. So start standing. That's one of them. And make sure before you start your workouts to always warm up. And for the core, trunk rotation is great. And then bending your knees, rounding your back, tucking your chin in, and straightening. So you'll call that in yoga or Pilates, cat. So you're arching that back, and then you can go to cow, where you drop the belly button down, cat to cow. Okay, so make sure you're warm. First move isn't going to be more full body without weight. I'm going to just kind of put this to the side until I get it. You're going to do a squat with the trunk rotation. So if you're holding a weight, you can just hold one dumbbell or kettlebell in your hand. That's fine. You're going to be in a wide stance. Toes are forward. Reach across the body. You're going to look towards your hands as they go up, down, and up. Your breath, I want you to exhale on the way down, because that's as if you were crunching. That's when you would breathe. Breathe out. Inhale to stretch. So you're working legs, some shoulders, especially if you use weight, and your core. Make sure you do both sides, okay? I really like some standing ones, because a lot of people have neck issues or back issues. Another one is straight leg touch. I can't ever remember exactly what the name is, but your arms are straight up over your shoulders. Give yourself a fist, and you're going to bring one leg up and round the lower back, exhaling out there. I have a light above me. And you want to tuck that chin in and look towards your knee when you come down. Standing crunch. Another one is hands behind the head, elbow to the knee. Point the toe down to sharpen that knee. That's obliques. One of my favorites. I always feel you're going to get this in your legs. Hold the plie squat. One arm out, reaching behind the knee. And staying, the lower in the legs, the harder you're going to work those legs. Great for the obliques there. What else? Standing. Always trunk rotation. I like to throw in jabs to get my heart rate up. I tell people, if you don't have any arms, you're still getting a good core workout there. Brace your core. Now, when I say brace, that does not mean suck in. Brace is more like an exhale out, and you feel your core get stronger. You form a wall there. You want to imagine like somebody's about to punch you in the gut. You don't want to lose your breath. You tighten it up. So that's bracing. Twist, twist, twist. There you go. Okay. So those are some standing ab exercises. Taking it to, you could do this on the floor or a chair. If you're on a chair, you're gonna have your butt on the very end of the chair, lean back, tuck your hips under, and you can alternate picking your knees up. Do both knees, and then a little harder is hands completely off of the chair. And then you can also do Russian twist here, and the challenge is feet off the floor. The same move as if you're sitting on the floor. Great for the obliques as well. Mountain climbers are fantastic. So if you are on the floor always makes it a little bit harder. Your hands are under your shoulders, fingers forward. Bring your knee in. Get your knee in towards your chest. And you can always speed that up for cardio. You can change it up by taking your knee across the body towards the opposite elbow. And then to also get a little bit more of the obliques, you can take it into a wide step, your hand going outside, your foot going outside of the hand. So same thing with a chair. Bring it in, bring it across, bringing it wide. Okay? And that's full body too. You're working your legs, your whole trunk, your shoulders by holding yourself up. Also in that plank position, if you're on a chair here, alternate tapping. Ooh, if you're on a chair, put your hands in the middle of the chair if it's not heavy. So doing that, if you don't want to use a chair and you don't want to go on your toes, you can extend those hips out and get a good workout. You want to make sure you're not twisting and opening those hips. So hip bones and chest stay pointing towards the shoulders. I'm just going to get that out of my way. Just know that anything you do on the floor, you can elevate on a chair to be a little bit easier. I love planks because they do work a lot of stuff. So other moves in the plank position, because I get bored just holding the plank, is walk, step outs, step to the side. So you're tapping your foot to the side, alternate reaching out to the side or reaching forward. Bird dogs, this is a great exercise also for your back, and that's a muscle group that we tend to ignore, and it's really important, especially when we're working our core to balance out those muscles. So in a bird dog position, you are actually going to have, if you're on your knees, your hips over your knees, and I don't say that often. So flat back, your eyes looking right in front of the fingertips, opposite arm and leg reach. So you want to point through the fingers and the toes to get a nice stretch there. And then the challenge is on your toes doing that. That is not a move for speed. You've really got to focus on stabilizing your core on that move. I'm not really sure why they call this the dolphin, but another move is walking on elbow, elbow, hand, hand, and I alternate which elbow I go down on. And again, you can do that on your toes. Side planks are great for the obliques. On your elbow's under your shoulder. That's going to be a little bit easier. If you have shoulder problems, you can go onto your hand, but that makes it a little bit harder to stabilize. It's easier on your shoulder, but harder for balance. So level 1 is coming up on your knee and holding that. You can have your hand behind your head. I like to do that because it keeps my chest open, keeps me from falling forward, or hand on your hip. So you can stay here in the process if you feel like it. Flex that foot, and you can do leg lifts. It's hard to see me, I know. Working in a small space. Okay, your another move is, and again, so knee is first option, staggered stance, where your feet are split, or you can see that, stack the feet. Okay, so hip dip, you're on your knees, drop, lift, drop. So you don't want your hip to actually touch the floor. You're really going to start feeling that in the oblique closest to the floor. And then arm out, pull the knee in towards the chest, or you can take your knee up towards the ceiling and elbow comes behind the knee, okay? So that's incorporating some legs and hips exercises. Also, this seems like a very funny move. Could be beneficial. It is, I don't really know the name for it besides hump the air. Really, I mean, I don't mean to be dirty with that, but it really is it's a simple exercise, but a great burn. Do it just try it 30 seconds. So in that plank position, you're tucking your hips under and relax. Now you don't want to arch your back there. You just want to go back to that flat back. So tuck under and open, tuck. And it's really killer when you're on your toes. I'm trying to avoid crunches because I enjoy them sometimes because of the great burn that it puts in my core, but it's not necessarily great for neck. So if people aren't doing it properly, they do injure themselves. But just so you know, if you decide to do crunches on your own, you want a fist distance, fit your fist or an apple between your chest and your chin, and your eyes stay straight up, and the nose and chin go towards the ceiling. So just keep that in mind if you decide to do any type of crunch on your own. Trying to think. Ooh, walkouts. I really like this. You'll see this like I do it in Pilates class, but I think it's a yoga move. So feet underneath your hips, toes are forward. You're gonna just do a roll, tuck your chin in, slowly roll down shoulders. Each vertebrae one at a time. Walk yourself down into a plank position. And then if you want, you can add a push-up if you want to. And then butt in the air to down dog. Soften the knees. Walk yourself up and roll up. That's a great one too. The roll out, the walk out, or the elephant, however you want to call that. Let's see. I'm trying to think. So I did rotations. I think that might be good for now. So I hope that wasn't too much or too overwhelming. So there's ab exercises with me.